Hi everyone, it's Linda from LindaZ in Arlington Heights, Illinois, ready for another quick little video that will, I hope, give you some inspiration on tubing. I think that many of you have asked me throughout the last couple years when I've been doing various types of things with knits, how do you do your tubing? How do you do the drawstring that you do on pajamas? Or how do you do if you're doing a hoodie and you want to put that drawstring through the little hood of the jacket or the top? How do you do that? What is it that you, what are your techniques? So I thought I'd show you that. It's very quick. It's real easy. It's not hard to do. I have one already done, a little sample that I'm going to show you. And then I have one that I'm going to show you that I'm going to do on the serger. I prefer to do these on the serger. I find that they work so much better. If you don't have a serger, I'm going to be doing it on the 890 Bernina. But if you don't have a serger, look on your machine and see if you have a stitch that will go forward and backwards and overcast. It's called an overlock stitch. Usually it'll go over a little foot too or a little bar. If you don't have that, any kind of a stretch stitch that will go over the edge and make a reverse straight stitch will be a really good one to have, because these little tubes, now this is the wrong side. I put the right sides together, and I've already done this one, but look at how stretchy this is. You can see it really, really is stretchy. And I've got a couple of little things I'm going to show you how to get it inside out, and I thought that's the real fun part. But let me go ahead and do it first of all. I like to do a 2-inch binding, and that's where my ruler, I have it back here on the ironing board that I want to show you. I wish I had been the inventor of this. This is just a fabulous, look at how long it is. I mean, it's a 36-inch ruler, and you can see when I doubled this, when I cut this, and I used 2 inches of this, you can see I can use one rotary cut length to do this. That's why it's just such a great, great ruler. If you don't have this in your stash, I would highly recommend that you get it. Quite frankly, when I first got it, I thought, yeah, maybe I'll use it, maybe I won't. I have used it at least 8 or 9 times on things that I never ever thought would, save me that much time. So I think it'll be a really good addition to your notions. You can see that I've done this stretch stitch along the edge. So this stretch stitch is about 3/8 of an inch, and the actual finished piece ends up to be about 5/8 inch. So because it's doubled, it's not going to be that wide, and it'll fit perfectly into an eyelet going around a hoodie, or it'll fit perfectly into the eyelet of a pair of pajamas. There's lots of other things you can use tubing for too, but I'll just get started and show you. I'll go over to the machine, and you can see I've used these little clips. Again, it's a key thing to get them started, so they're even when you get started. And knits roll this is rolling to the wrong side, and it's really, sometimes it can get pretty touchy when you're doing the two edges to start with, because you want to keep those even. So sometimes a flat-headed pin or just a regular pin along with this clip will help. I like the clips. I'm used to using them, but do what works for you. So let's go over to the machine. All right, you can see that I have this set up for a 4-thread overlock stitch. And you can see on my machine itself, I've got 4 threads up here. And now what I'm doing here, I have the knee lift lever on, and I wouldn't be without this knee lift lever, because see how I have to hold this. I'm trying to line this first part up with this foot without it curling. And that's why I'm holding the knee lift lever and my hand at the same time. And it really makes a huge difference. Now watch as I get started here. The seam, that's the machine starting up and setting everything up. And if you notice while I'm sewing, this is something I'd love, I'm gonna stretch this out so you can see how easy it is. See this edge right here of the edge of the foot? That's where I'm guiding my fabric. I don't look over here at all. I just look right here. And that foot is guiding the fabric all the way along, and that way I know it's going to be even. Usually I have my little holder for my clips, and then I can just throw them in there when I'm done and keep sewing. I'm going to just clip them. This is not one where you have to slide the clip down. On some of my knit fabrics like Minky or Cuddle, what I'll do is I'll sew up to the edge and then I'll move this down, but you might, but I don't. I've got them pinned, I've got them clipped close enough that I can really just keep going without having to slide them down. Now, if you were only doing 4 or 5 clips through the whole entire piece, then you might want to do what I'm doing here. Come up to the clip, realign it, and then just move it down a little bit. That always works too. And you can see all the extra edge of the fabric is going into my little waist bin here, which is always nice. This is a great little foot catcher, which is, foot alignment, because again, I'm just aligning that fabric all the way along the edge of the foot. I'm almost done, and I'll show you what this is going to look like at the end. Now, if this 4-thread over edge was not perfectly even at the edge of this fabric, I have a little Microtex button right here that I can just squinch that forward or backwards and it will just tighten everything up. But I haven't had to do that on this fabric at all. It's just working out beautifully. Bernina has designed such a beautiful serger. Okay, we're almost done. We're coming up to the edge now. And what I do is I just go right off the edge. See that goes off? I can trim it up here, or I could take a scissor and trim it. Now I'm going to take and just go at a diagonal. Let me turn it the other diagonal. It's a little easier. See, I'll put a little point on there. Just gives it a little bit more of a, for my scissors here. Here they are, right underneath where I normally would keep them. Okay, so now do you see I have a little point here? I'm going to get rid of that extra, I don't need that. And you want to make sure that it's long enough that it'll go around the hood or around the waist and then have a little left over for tying. Now again, this is the wrong side, so how am I going to get that long piece turned back in? I'll show you on the sample here. It's not quite as long, so it won't quite take quite as long to do it. But what you're going to do is you're going to start with this end piece that is the piece that is already closed up. One end is open, the other end is closed up. And if you don't have this quick turn, you can see this is my second one. I use these so much, I had to tape them all up to bring them in here. But there's 3 different sizes. This is the 3/8. It's marked on the tube itself as to what size it is. And that's what I always use when I'm doing this 2-inch on a serger. If, again, you want to have your seam be a little bit smaller, you could go to a smaller one, or you want it to be a little bit larger, you could go to the big one. The other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put this tube all the way to the end of this, all the way to the end of the close, and then I'm going to do something with this that's really kind of fun. So you'll see it. I can bring it down, and let's keep going till the end. And what I'm going to do is, I'm right at the closed end point, and do you see how I push that through and see what's happening? I'm literally pushing this thread, this stick, all the way down so that it's going to come up to the end. And wait till you see how fun this is. I love this little part. So easy to do. There I am. I see the end of my tubing. Just pull it out. Whoop. Sorry, cameraman. And voila, you're done. I could take this now over to the ironing board and press it. If I wanted to do a seam in the middle, I try to keep that. I like it on the end, but you could have pushed that seam right to the center. I don't do any more stitching or anything. You don't need to, except for right up here at the end. And that way I push those two together. And I might do just a little hand whip, or even on the machine, I could, not the serger, you could go over and do a straight stitch, and then you've got a perfectly good little piece that you're going to use for your hoodies or for your pajamas. And I'm going to show you after I tie this, because I think it's so much fun to do. And there you are, all done. Very, very quick, very easy, and I'll do the same thing with this. Hope you're going to have fun with that. Try it. I think you'll find you really want this. This is just a really wonderful tool. Thanks so much, everyone. We will see you next week.